Most holidays involve flights. There are some people who insist they prefer a staycation, but if that's you, then you're probably lying to yourself. I mean, what sort of person could have a weekend in Saint-Tropez, but instead would prefer to go to Wigan? Not that there's anything wrong with Wigan. And today I'm just going to be giving you a few thoughts about flights. Now, given how busy the airways are, it's understandable that every now and again there will be delays. But wouldn't it be nice if the airlines told you what the delay was about? If it came up, your flight is being delayed for an hour because the plane is dropping off emergency supplies to refugees, that'd be fine. Or alternatively, if it said your plane's been delayed because we're trying to sober the pilot up, then I would want a word with someone. But last week I found out the plane was delayed on the coach, and not the coach to the airport. You know the coach, you give in your boarding pass, you leave the terminal, you can see the plane is 50 yards away from you, but you have to get on that weird bus that's got no seats. You know there's some health and safety bloke jizzing in his pants over the thought of that. So I'm stood on this bus with Mrs. Disgruntled and a lot of other people. And I don't wish to be crude, but it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm in a bus full of British people, all of whom will have had to check out by 10 o'clock that morning, so 11 hours without a shower in southern Italy, and some of the larger people had fans with which they were just blowing their odour around. And with that takes me on to passengers. Now, some people are going to say I'm being fat-shaming or sizist, but please hear me out. I understand there are recognised medical conditions, meaning that people gain weight. I myself am quite a portly fucker. But I think for a lot of people, once you're around 30 stone, the reason you're that size is you can't stop shoveling food into your mouth, you greedy fucker. And this brings me on to a chap I saw who was, once you need that extra fucking seatbelt thing, you should be charged twice. You weigh twice as fucking much as anyone else. But I watched this large chap and he was spilling out onto the guy sat next to him. If I've spent money on an airline seat, I do not wish to share it with anyone. On that, a really weird flight a couple of years ago, coming back from San Francisco, an 11-hour flight, Mrs. Disgruntled was asleep by the window. I was in the middle, next to me was a young German woman, and within 40 minutes of the plane being in the air, she'd fell asleep and then started sobbing uncontrollably for the entire flight. So for about 9.5 hours, I was just sat as far away from her as possible, just letting everyone know, whatever's up with her, it's not being caused by me. Next up, kids on planes. Parents, if you bring young children on planes, the only people that want them there are you. Everyone else on that aircraft fucking hates you. What I would do, rather than have concessions for children, I would have a sliding scale where it gets more expensive. So when kids get to be about 14 years old, when they become a sort of recognisable functional human being, then charge them the same as an adult. The younger they are, the more it is. Between newborn babies and 3 years old should be 5 times the fucking price of an adult ticket. Also, the fucking parents who spend the entire flight stood in the aisle with their baby, blocking the cabin crew and people wanting to use the toilet because they want to show their kid off. If you've had a baby, it means you fuck someone and your reproductive system works. You do not deserve a fucking medal. Sit down. Another bugbear of mine on passengers. Now, we know airline food is expensive and it isn't pleasant, but please don't bring your own. On Friday night, I was flying back and the woman next to me reached into her handbag, got out this tinfoil package, opened it to reveal these soggy tomato sandwiches that looked like she'd made them the week before, and then I had to sit there and listen to her eating her way through it and spitting into a little water bottle she brought on, which she then left for the cabin crew to clear up. Last thing, and this is a one-off and I don't know why I'm so annoyed about it. Guy gets on the plane, he's got the airline pillow, you know the thing you buy in duty free that you blow up, goes round your neck, got that on, he's got his mask on his forehead, ready to go to sleep, and a dressing gown on. And I would have kicked that cunt through the intake on the jet engines. The second I saw him, I wanted him fucking dead. I would kill him and sit there and wait for them to fit a new engine on the plane, because the world would be better without that twat in it. Cabin crew, I won't moan about. That's not a job I've ever wanted. It's not very well paid. You're basically getting leered at all the time, and the highlight of your working life is some Islamic nutter trying to cut your head off with a fucking Stanley knife or box cutter if you're American. Pilots, I have my own preferences. A few years ago, flying to Northern Ireland, I won't mention the airline, but it was very easy to get a jet. And the pilot comes on, he goes, "Oh, hey, this is Captain Daz." And I thought, fuck off, Captain Daz. Now, there's nothing wrong with the name Daz if you're a plasterer or if you run a karaoke bar. I don't want you flying a fucking aeroplane. Darren, that's fine. If it'd been, "Hello, this is Captain Darren," I'd accept it. But Daz suggests he's not taking it very seriously. What I like in an airline pilot, particularly captain, is someone with a clipped Etonian hello public school accent. The sort of guy you know has gone to public school, has then joined the RAF and spent 10 years bombing the shit out of the Arabs. A guy whose usual day to work involves flying underneath power lines at 700 miles an hour whilst taking flak. Because he's flying an airliner, that's the same as an F1 driver deciding to jack it in and work for Megabus. However, the pilot, who was something like, "Hello, it's Captain Geoffrey Ponsonby Smythe, excellent, this guy can fly," said, "Well, we're a bit late away. We're going to try and make some of that time up." And I thought, great, the guy's going to rag a Boeing 757. And we got back, and we were early. By 4 minutes. The guy's flown from southern Italy to Birmingham and made up 4 minutes. And I don't want to show off, but driving from Birmingham back to Stoke, through the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit and sitting behind an unmarked police car for 4 fucking miles, black Vauxhall Vectra, watch out if you're on the M6, I made up 9 minutes. So airlines, great. Their planes are great if you want to go very fast over long distances. If you want to go fast over short distances, buy a Jag.